Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for X-Men 97, Episode 7, Bright Eyes. Now, we're going to get into spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode, make sure to go check it out. But this series continues to be a banger every single time. It is just amazing. The stuff that they're doing, it's incredible stuff. Like they're they're really reaching deep for a lot of these stories, and there's just as a longtime X-Men fan, it's really fun to see. Um, Not only are they able to kind of follow up on like little threads that the original series hinted at, but they just kind of keep giving you like all this really cool stuff. It's poignant, it's dark, it's definitely not as big, bright, and shiny as the original series was, but I think that the creators understand that a big part of their audience has grown up with these characters, so they're trying to give the audience a few more grown-up stories. So that being said, we're gonna get into spoilers. So we pick up with the team at Gambit's funeral with some really cool cameos, right? We see Belladonna, who is Gambit's former wife from the comics, along with some of the thieves guild, and then of course Nightcrawler giving the eulogy, as it is part of his fate. Uh, it's a very strong scene. We get to see a lot of the X Men. Everyone's really at the funeral except Rogue, and we'll get to Rogue in a minute. Next, we hop to Genosha, where the X Men are kind of doing cleanup. We see Beast, who up until now had been kind of like just in the background, in the periphery, right? He got a little bit more during that interview episode, but it was a lot of flirting, really, right before all the horrible shit went down. But I think just like the funeral scene, this proves that it's just very smart to hold back on some of these characters, right? We really hadn't seen a lot of Nightcrawler until this episode. We saw a little bit in the previous one. We also get to see a little bit more Beast, right? There's finally a little bit of conflict and him really standing up now for the mutants and what he believes in. Um, Next, we go into Rogue, who is just wrecking shop. She's just going after anyone that can give it, like she's looking for the guilty party behind the giant sentinel that killed Gambit. She's Usually Rogue doesn't have a lot of agency in a lot of the stories, especially in the cartoon. But here, boy, she's just going all out, and this leads to her going around the Marvel universe from the show, and we get to see some really cool cameos. Right, we get to see Captain America, we get to see Thunderbolt Ross. So like as she's kind of going down, looking for answers, she just really she's getting all these clues, and all everything is kind of revealed to us, to the watcher. But yeah, we get to see that we're introduced to Bastion is one of the most convoluted characters in comics. I'll have a little short on that, but he's pretty much, him and Sinister are pulling all these strings. I also feel like Bastion's going to betray Sinister because it just really feels like it's in his nature. But it's just such a cool way to introduce a new villain to the series, right? Like the big reveal. We saw how the last episode ended with um I think what's his name, Gyrick, the doctor, no, Trask. With Trask, uh we get to see that moment of fear where we reveal that it's Sinister, and now we are revealing the latter half of that, which is Bastion. So um now as the team goes on to try to find more answers, they do end up going to Madripoor, where they see Bolivar Trask. Bolivar Trask actually contacted the team, and here we have some of the coolest and most gut wrenching stuff of the whole episode. Right, we get to see the whole team go into Madripoor and finally find the answers that they were looking for, kind of, because it looks like this is all really part of Bastion's plan. It's a bleak turn for the tone of the series. The characters, we finally get to see Rogue kind of wrap up her arc of destruction, because Trask is like, he's so messed up about what he's done that he's threatening to jump off a building, and then Rogue stops him, and the whole team is watching this. Right, we have Cyclops, Wolverine, Morph, everyone's kind of there, and then Rogue just drops Trask, and you hear, like, I was watching with the closed caption on, you hear the sound says body thud as he hits the ground. Like that is some dark shit. But of course, this was just a misdirect because Trask has now been also enhanced as a sentinel, like a human sentinel hybrid. They had discovered all this kind of technology, and there was a lot of clues that the technology came from a way more advanced era. So of course, after the X-Men are unable to take down Trask, Cable shows up, and he's the one that takes him down with future tech, magnetic grenade, whatever. Like, it's just really fun stuff, really cool. So this episode gave us pretty much everything. We are all the stage has been set up for the last three episodes, the Tolerance's extinction arc. And here we have a last scene. It's not really a post credit, it's just like before we end the episode. We have Bastion, and we see that he's got Magneto locked up. He's got Magneto chained up, he's got the power dampener on him, and then he's shaving him, and it's so weird. It reminded me of because of Bastion and Magneto, kind of like, they have the white hair, and they're not drawn the same, but they kind of look alike. It reminded me a little bit of that scene in Alien Covenant where both uh, David and the other android that's also played by the same actor, they're playing the flute, which is very interesting because, of course, that actor also portrayed Magneto in one of the films. So yeah, I don't know. That just kind of came to my mind. But why does Bastion have Magneto? What does he want with him? What is he gonna? Is he gonna add his powers to one of his Sentinels with with Sinister's like chemistry, engineering, machinations, like genetic manipulation? All that remains to be seen. But once again, another great episode. I can't wait to see what we have next. I think the next few issues are going to be pretty bonkers, pretty insane. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So if you've seen X-Men 97 episode 7, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe. I did forget to mention we do have a moment where Bobby DaCosta goes to tell his parents about him being a mutant. I feel like that's going to come into play a little bit later, which is why one of the reasons I kind of glossed over it, but I did want to mention it. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. And make sure to hit the like, leave us a comment, all that stuff. Bye bye.